All right, good evening, everyone. And we are here with yet another webinar by the ECDF, Early Child Development Forum. And Early Child Development Forum is doing some great work in terms of helping out children and women in need from all areas, walks, and economic and financial and social status of life. And today we are talking about a very important and a very pertinent topic, and that is play. So championing play as children's rights and the diverse aspects of play-based learning in the early childhood setting is what we are going to be talking about. And it's amazing the kind of lineup that I have as speakers, and we are going to gain a lot. There's going to be a lot of exchange of knowledge. We're going to get a lot of wisdom because people from all over the globe are joining us today. And it's my pleasure to be moderating this session on behalf of Dr. Vasi Acharya, the founder and chairperson for ECDF, DN Acharya Foundation, and the Tender Battles Play Schools. And today's topic, when we talk about play, now, play is a four-letter word, and so is life, isn't it? So play is life for children. When we talk about play, it necessarily means that if the children are allowed to play, we do not need to do anything else to have all the domains of development taking place at one go. Let's find out from our lineup of speakers today of how and why play is important. What policies, what strategies, what curriculum do we need in the early childhood settings for a play-based learning? What are the different aspects? So the amazing lineup of speakers that I have here, we're going to have the opening question first. And as they come on screen, they're going to introduce themselves to you. So speakers, are we ready? So the moment you come in on screen and you have to answer the question, please introduce yourself and go for the question. My first question, the opening statement, where I'm going to give 1 minute to each speaker to talk about it, is that why is play essential for children? Until what age do you think children should play? Because usually we also see that the smaller children are allowed to play, but as soon as they go to the primary or the middle school, the play stops. It's like almost all the days and all hours are study time. So let's see why is play essential. So I would request Dr. Abdul Karim to go in first. Dr. Abdul, why do you think play is essential?
Okay, repeat. Miss.
Yeah, you're audible, Doc. You can carry on.
Yes, Dr. Abdul, you're audible. You can go for it. Why is play essential? Until what age do you think children should be allowed to play?
Okay, so am I the first speaker, Dr. Fasavi?
Yeah, this is a 1 minute question. So why do you think play is essential? Yeah.
Okay. I think the important or the essential play for children, because the children has the right to play every day. The important play-based learning, for the children. So when they play, they also reach the educational goals for the life every day even in the house and also in the school and also in the community. So this evening, the best meeting, I will share you about the government policies about the play-based learning. That's my answer.
Right. Thank you so much, Dr. Abdul Karim. He was from Indonesia and he told us why play is essential. In a little while, he would be talking elaborately about the play policies in Indonesia. We go over to Ms. Kiki. Ms. Kiki, why do you think play is essential for children? Until what age? And please introduce yourself first.
Okay, thank you for the time, Miss Smriti. My name is Rizky Amalia. You can call me Miss Kiki. I'm the principal of a preschool in Cirebon, West Java, Indonesia, and my school is one of the school that implement play-based learning. So for me, why play is essential? Play is essential for any children, for all children development, helping children develop problem-solving skill and creativity. It also fosters social skill, empathy, and emotional understanding through interaction with others. Physical play enhances motor skill. Overall, health will be built also by physical play. Emotionally, play relieves stress and gives a happiness booster to the children. For adults, also play reduces stress. Uh, and especially we here talk about children. Play-based learning makes education engaging and effective because in play we can develop all children development aspects. And the most important is children will be so happy when they play because play is the heart of the children. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kiki. That was well said. Yes, and we will have very happy children in our early childhood settings if we have a play-based learning. It will make learning more engaging. And like I mentioned, all-round development of children, all the domains, whether it is the social emotional development, it is the physical development, everything is going to take place if we allow children to play. Thank you so much. Over to you, Ms. Faria.
Hi, Smriti. I hope I'm.
Your voice is breaking, Ms. Faria. I think there's some kind of a network issue because we have a frozen screen.
Am I audible?
Now you're audible.
I'm sorry, I just electricity just went off. Okay, so if I'm audible, very quickly introduce myself. My name is Varia Siddiqui, and I am a faculty in one of the university, and I teach early childhood. So, according to me, I mean, I'll not talk only about the play because Mr. Abdul Karim and Kiki, both of them talked about the benefits of play and why this is important. So, I'll just say that now, right now, we are seeing there are so many researches which are mental stress, mental health of adults, and how play and leisure activities are important to rejuvenate them. So there is a shift. For example, there are countries, there are case studies where people are talking about that play has to be bring in everybody's life so that they get those recreational moments. So if adults need those moments, then just think about a child. For them, play is like their work, their everything, their life, as you said in the beginning also. So
We lost you, Ms. Faria. Can you please repeat?
am I back? Hello?
No, not right now. Can you just repeat the last sentence that you said? We got you through the time that the play is life for children. After that, can you?
Yeah. So I said that play is life for children, and it is like their work. They do everything through play. So we cannot just imagine what all they are.
Right. Thank you, Ms. Faria. I think the network issue is a little more. I think it will be resolved over time. What Ms. Faria is actually saying is what with what Maria Montessori said long time back, that play is the work of childhood. Play is life for children because they learn everything through play. It is not only about learning, it's not only about concept-based learning, but it is also about their problem-solving skills, their critical thinking skills, and how to maintain relationships, their language development, physical development. Everything depends on play. Yeah, so why is play essential? And like she said, play is essential not only for children but also for adults. And there's so much of research and case studies that shows that. And of course, as a person grows old, we do need a lot of cognitive activities. We need to engage ourselves in play to keep our mind working. Thank you, Ms. Faria. We go over to Ms. Jathya.
Hey, hi everyone. My name is Zakia, and I would like to start by sharing the same insight with the previous speaker, who highlighted how play contributes significantly to the cognitive, physical, social skill, problem solving, and etc. Here, I want to emphasize that the important role of play in shaping the children's communication skills and language development. Yeah, through play, children can increase their creativity and develop language skills, whether it's from imaginative role playing or games or traditional games. Children will actively engage in verbal and non-verbal communication. So this interaction will foster fluency, expand their vocabulary, and enhance their ability to express thought and emotion effectively. So yeah, I think, and the age, I think play is crucial from birth until adolescence. Whether the nature of play evolves as children, like for babies, they start in sensory and exploratory play, toddlers in imaginative and pretend play, and while other children may engage in more complex games. Like that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was really enriching, Ms. Jathya. Very correctly said that play, develops the communication skills of the children. They are able to express themselves better. They get socially and emotionally, they can express themselves. They learn the verbal and the non-verbal communication. There's so much happening. If you're just observing children play, we can see all that communication happening around a group of children who are playing. So thank you so much. Over to you, Princess Adwin. Adwin. I think I got it right, even if I don't.
Yes, excellent. Yes, you did. For me, I'm Princess Adewoyi. I'm the Executive Director of English Development Center here in Cabo Verde. Cabo Verde is offshore West Africa. So for me, I believe that play doesn't just develop the skills of the kids, but the psychological and the physiological well-being of the child is important, and it's connected to play. For us at English Development Center, we don't teach in a serious way. We teach actually using play, games, and stuff like that, because we have a blend of kids with special needs and every other kids, the ones that don't have special needs and the one with special needs, because we want to, merge social inclusion and allow social inclusion. So we use games, we use play, we use arts as medium of instruction. So it's been working for us. I mean, I really love this topic, and I can always say that it's very, very effective, because when you use play to as a medium of instruction for the kids, everyone can associate with it. Even we adults, we like one form of play or the other. Music, art, they are all forms of plays, they are all forms of creativity. So I believe that play helps in building creativity in children and in learning to. It's a way of teaching them. We can teach them through the instrumentality of plays and games. That's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Princess Adwin. This was really enlightening, because you are already using play and art as a medium of instruction, and it's working for you. We would love to know more about it when we come to your session. Currently, I think everyone and all children, whether with special needs or with different abilities or with different needs, because each child is unique. And probably play is the only thing that can be the common thread between all the children to come together and learn in a very engaging manner. Thank you so much for saying that. Over to you, Ms. Sabishta Bakhtiar from Pakistan.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. Eid Mubarak. We are celebrating Eid.
Yes, Eid Mubarak ho aapko bhi.
Thank you. and thank you for having me here. I am an ECE trained educator. I taught for 12 years. I worked with children from ages 5 and 6. And now I'm heading Learning Lab as a CEO, which is an entity who caters to teachers and admin staff's trainings for special education as well, and other trainings also. I myself is a personal professional development trainer with a certificate of TTT from Funbugs Global. And also I'm currently doing my NLP. So yeah, to your question, I think we are living, when we have started living in the post-COVID world, play has become more essential, because these children are currently too much attracted and attached to the gadgets, and it is affecting, we are noticing it commonly, that it is hugely affecting their fine motor skills also. So because they are currently on screen and screens are touched, they are not developing. So obviously it is extremely important for every child to get indulged in play whenever the chance comes, whenever they have, if either they are in their school or play groups or even at home. The age, I think everyone should play. We should also have some kind of play activity, and as adults we ignore it hugely. And this is why the depression and anxiety and all these things, mental disorders, are becoming so common, because we are not able to let out our frustrations and tensions and everything, because life is not easy for everyone, and we have to have a let out. And for that, I think the best thing could be anything you can express yourself. Anyhow you can express yourself, either it's art, play, interactions, hanging out, even it could be anything, but it is very essential. And I think every age group should get weekly activities when we are adults, to have some kind of play in our life. And for children, so I think nothing is more important right now, for all ages, school ages. So I'm talking about from their play group to till they are graduated from the institute. It is important to have them indulge in certain activities, or any kind of activity of which are of their interest, so they can actually express themselves, learn how to interact, coexist. It is a very big issue that children right now do not know how to coexist with other children, because of the nuclear family system as well. So I think it is more important than before. Thank you.
Oh, very well said, Ms. Avishta. It was actually quite an eye-opener. Yes, children have forgotten how to play outside to develop their physical, gross motor and fine motor skills. They are glued into the gadgets, and COVID taught them to remain indoors. And right now, it's a very important time that we bring them back into the playgrounds. And what better than schools and play groups and the society and the community to do that for them? That we should be encouraging them to play. And the best word that was that came through was coexisting. Yes, peer learning, peer group formation, and actually being socially involved. Socially means physically socially involved, and not by social media. That is what all the teenagers are addicted to right now. But how much of a social interaction do they have? And the next point that was really lovely was that all age groups should be there. Yes, that's right. Because when I take teacher training and all, and make sure that we have some engaging activities and icebreakers, or in between transitions and all, and you should see those adults, those teachers also behave like children at that time. So that's the biggest stress buster. I think that gives the release of that. Your adrenaline rushes there, the dopamine is released when you're playing. You are so engaged in that you forget who you are, what age you are in. And best part about play is that. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. Over to you, Ms. Rishti.
Hi, everybody. I would like to share my screen as well.
Ms. Rishti will come to sharing your screen when your topic comes in. Right now, you can just share about what your thoughts on play. That's it. Just for a minute.
Yeah, so play is really, really essential for all age groups, not just specific, for little children, for all age groups, like even for adults too, just because these days we are just having so stressful lives. Everybody is into their electronic devices, iPads, laptops. They don't get even time to think about things now. They don't want to solve things. They just want everything to be in a rush because these changes in our brain are happening because of this social media, the reels we are following. So play is really essential because it will give you time to stop and think and be creative, and foster your emotional development as well. So it is really, really important from 0 to 90 years of your life.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so at what age we should be playing? So it's from Ms. Drishti, 0 to 90. That means your whole life you should be playing. You should be engaged in some kind of fun, some format of play, so that you start by, you think, you do problem solving, you socially and emotionally engage with other people and with yourself. So while you're playing, you also get to know more about yourself. How do you react to a certain thing? How do you respond to a certain thing? Is all dependent on when we are playing games. So yeah, so set that right. So that sets the note of the webinar that all our speakers are wonderful speakers and very experienced and evolved speakers have confirmed that play is indeed essential at every age of life. And it is very, very crucial for learning to happen and overall development to happen. So let's delve deeper into the topic and let's go straight away to Ms. Faria first, because she wanted to talk about the stages of play and then structured play or unstructured play, guided play or free play. What kind of play is important? What we should be having in our play groups and in our schools, and why? Ms. Faria, over to you. If you have a PPT, we can allow you to share your screen. Over to you, Ms. Faria.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is visible. Please go ahead.
Yeah,
make it full screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So I'll be talking about stages of play. So in many literature or in early childhood, we study or we hear about stages of play. At times, we call them types of play also. And there are many theorists. I'll just very briefly touch upon different theorists who have given different stages of play. So starting with the oldest one, I'll start with Mildred Parton. So Mildred Parton, she made extensive observation of preschool children and she came up with 6 levels of play. And according to her observation, this play ranges from child being non-social to being highly social. So if we are saying non-social, that means during infancy or toddlerhood, we see there is a variation in terms of child being egoistic and then moving towards the later stage where child is much more social, playing in groups or these things. So similar to that, Parton also came up with these 6 stages. And the first one she talked about is unoccupied play. Unoccupied play, as you can see through the pictures also, child may not be playing himself, but is attentive towards something which is catching his or her attention. So we have seen in infancy that we use a lot of mobiles, the hanging toys or the rattles, those kind of things. Child himself or herself is not acting on those toys, but is just looking at and enjoying that. So that is according to her the first stage, which occurs in infancy. Then comes the onlooker behavior. So this is called behavior because again, in this one also, child is not actively playing, but is enjoying by seeing others. So it is like an onlooker behavior. We also at times stand, a group of children are playing, and if that catches our attention, we also just stand there and just enjoy what are they doing. It is similar to that. She came up with this second stage. Then she talked about solitary play or independent play. This is, we can see that it is moving as per the ages. So in this one, child is indulged in play, is indulged with toys, is indulged with different materials, but alone. So this is again towards the end of toddlerhood and initial phase of, we can say, preschool. So this is a child is not in contact with others, but himself or herself indulged completely in play. Then comes a stage called parallel play. And in parallel play, in this stage, we have seen a group of children in kindergarten. They are sitting together, maybe sharing toys, but things are not consciously done. They themselves are playing, they are engrossed in their own play, with their own toy, in their own thoughts maybe. Right? So this is a parallel kind of a play where one or two or many children are playing, but they are in their own world. So that is what she named parallel play. It comes associate play. And in this associate play, some level of coordination starts to take place. So in a small group of children, sharing things like that, it begins. They may lend toys, they may engage in some exchanges, but again, it is not completely social play. Then comes the, according to what the final stage is cooperative play, when child is much more social, is much more ready to take perspectives of other children, is able to negotiate, is able to cooperate, is able to collaborate. So these are the things which children can do in cooperative play. So according to Parton, these are the 6 stages of play. I'll move to the next one. Very prominent theorist in early childhood child development. We cannot forget Piaget. Piaget gave he talked about play behavior. He did not give completely the stages of play, but he talked about play behavior vis-a-vis his stages of child development. So while doing his longitudinal study on his own children, Piaget observed his children's play and he observed certain characteristics within that. And he came up with, first one is functional play, or which is also called sensory motor play. So this is his this play behavior occurs in the first stage of Piaget's child development, where child is repeated one or the other action on the on some object. So we must have seen children drop things at times. We give infant something, some let's say ball or a spoon or anything, and child is repeatedly throwing that on the floor and enjoys that. So Piaget said that this is play for the child, and this is functional play because child is wired to do that. When they keep on repeating those actions, it becomes they become master of that, and they move to the complex thing. So now they know that this action has a reaction from the caregiver. When I'm throwing the toy, or when I'm throwing the spoon, or when I'm throwing water or anything, I am able to get attention. So these things, these kind of play occurs in the sensory motor. Apart from these simply dropping or throwing things, it becomes complex towards the end of toddler, infancy and initial stage of toddlerhood also. So Piaget talked first about this type of play. And Piaget also very briefly touched upon that after those continuous actions repeating in the sensory motor stage, children starts playing with objects, maybe by creating things, stacking things, or putting things over the other. This stage he called constructive play, where child is trying to create something. It can be through using blocks, it can be using material, it can be water, sand, anything. But child is indulged in making something on their own, out of their own curiosity or out of their own exploration. So this is what he talked about the second stage. And the third one, he talked about symbolic play or the pretend play activities also. Again, this will happen towards the end of toddlerhood and in the preschool stage, where child is able to imagine things, is able to pretend things, is acting on objects and maybe imagining them something else. So for example, mobile phone may become a car while playing, or let's say some beets may become their food while they are cooking in the kitchen, right? So these kind of things, when they are acting on objects and using them according to their own thoughts or mental processes. So Piaget talked about this behavior also, and he said this is very crucial stage in the a pre-operational stage, in the initial part of the pre-operational stage, and children indulge in this kind of symbolic play. Then games with rules, we know that towards after 6 or 7 years of age, children enjoys playing with the games with rules. Not very complex games like chess. It may come in the formal operational stage, but simple games, simple board games, simple car racing kind of things where children can remember, where they can operate or use their mental processes to remember things, to make sure that the other person is also following rules. So this is towards the later part of pre-operational stage and the formal operational stage, right? Or sorry, concrete operational stage. So these are some of the stages Vyas talked about. So I'll talk about another very prominent person, Vygotsky. So Vygotsky, again, he did not give theory on play, but in his child development theory, he also talked about play. And he talked about specifically about symbolic play, because when you will study Vygotsky's theory, Vygotsky is talking a lot about mental processes, or which he says reflective actions on objects, some complex things he used. So Vygotsky said that in symbolic play, children are actually acting on objects, and they are able to separate the use of objects from their imagination. So as I gave you example before, for example, they may pretend a stick as a horse. Despite of knowing the characteristics of sticks, they are using it as a horse. So this kind of mental operation on objects, Vygotsky said, happens in play. So that is why Vygotsky also gave a lot of importance to play, and he said characteristic of preschoolers is indulgence, symbolic play, or pretend play along. Once another person, Sarah Slinsky, and she also talked about 5 stages or 5 types of play. She talked about functional play or exploratory play, which is similar to what Piaget was also talking about. She also talked about constructive play. Constructive play is also similar to what Piaget said, where they are combining things or entities to create something. Then she talked about dramatic play, which entails pretend play, which symbolic play Vygotsky also talked about. Then she talked about socio-dramatic play and games with rules. So according to her, these are, you can say, stages. It does not mean that all children are going through that. It may come to some children early in life based on their environment and their exposure. And other, however, all the children, according to her, goes through these stages. Last one, I'll just name them. I'm not going into detail to this. Bob Hughes also gave a taxonomy of play, and he talked about 16 types of play, which are further divided. Whatever we discussed in the previous slides, Bob Hughes came up with this taxonomy, which is much more detailed and much more, you can say, covering all the ranges. So these are some of the stages, and all children go through these stages. As I said, it is not fixed for everyone, or we cannot put these stages in brackets that only this age group will go on this. Some children may skip some stages also. However, generally talking about, these are some of the stages are vis-a-vis child development, and all children go through these stages. Talking about the another thing that out of all these play, specifically in preschool or in the kindergarten years, we talk about structured or unstructured play. This debate goes on that which one should we emphasize? Should we emphasize more of like free play activities, or should we move towards more of guided play activities? So if we compare both, see, all play we have already covered in the initial part, in the introductory part, that play is, helping children to learn everything. However, going into detail to these 2 types of play, if we talk about unstructured play, so unstructured play is helping children, and it is helping, it promotes their creativity, imagination. It is giving them exposure to problem solving, decision making, conflict negotiation, their social emotional development caters. They are learning collaboration skills. They are exploring so many things when they are indulged in free play or unstructured play. Having said that, the structured play or guided play, in that also children are learning a lot of things, right? Because this type of play, in this one, They're learning cooperation and social skills, self-regulation and turn-taking, strategy making, following directions. And this type of play is geared towards a specific learning content because somebody is guiding. Somebody is creating an environment for them so that those goals or those outcomes are met through that structured activity. Right. So whenever we talk about play-based pedagogy and all these things, so it falls under the structured play. So in early years, if we say which one should be emphasized, we have already seen that free play has been reduced from all of not only from our life but from children's lives also. Children are sent to their days are so much structured now. I think 30 minutes or 1 hour, hardly they get anywhere at their school or at their home also, the unstructured or free time where they can have their own exploratory things, where they can do things on their own pace, out of their own choice. We have replaced that with a lot of structured activities, hobby classes, or learning some other things, language. There are so many things which preschools are also offering because parents also want their children to be engaged. They want to minimize screen time. So the emphasis is moving towards a structured activity. However, there are n number of researches which talks about the benefit of free play and how it should be there in children's lives, specifically if we talk about the early childhood years, that is from birth to 8 years. Children should get ample of free play activity at home as well as in their schools. Because when we are talking about all those skills and everything, we cannot curate everything because we are also saying children are different, they learn differently, and then we are not giving them that opportunity to learn things or do things. So according to me, we have to provide ample of free play and you do the structured activity also, but too much structured activity will hamper their growth also, their development also, right? So according to me, there has to be a balance. In initial years, up to 4 years of age, more free play should be there. You can curate free play also. You can provide them material or environment which will support their learning as you want, but their choice should be there. However, do not replace it completely with all the structured activities or all the guided activities. We have to create a balance, a judicious balance we have to create. So according to me, with age, we can change that, but completely reversing them is not beneficial from the developmental point of view also. That's it. Thank you. I hope I was audible.
Yeah, you were audible throughout, and your screen was also visible. And it was quite informative. Thank you so much, Ms. Faria, for sharing all that knowledge with us. It was indeed a pleasure to know about all the early childhood philosophers who gave us so much of knowledge and so much of stages and types of plays that are there. And I think mostly the parents and the educators don't even realize that there are all of these stages to look at and look for. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge. We go for the next question, and this time we go to Ms. Zakia. So for you, Ms. Zakia, according to you, do you think that parents and educators actually understand the importance of play? And like what all Ms. Faria just shared with us, what can be done to bring about that awareness? Because we don't see these days parents or educators giving any importance to play. Like Ms. Faria also mentioned that children hardly get time for their own free play because everything, their entire day is structured, right from school to home and to their classes and coaching and everything. So your thoughts, please. Over to you, Ms.
Okay,
Zakia.
May I share the screen?
Yeah, please go ahead. And please limit your timing to the 10 minutes that we have given you. So that would be, otherwise you're going to extend this webinar to 2 hours. Zakia, are you facing any problems in the stream?
No.
It's visible.
Oh, okay. Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm Zakia, and I would like to delve into a topic that is a crucial aspect of childhood development, which is the role of parents in understanding and facilitating play for their children. So, do you think parents understand the importance of play? I believe that parents' knowledge of play affect their children's play experiences and development. How? Parents with higher level of education often have a better understanding of the cognitive, social, and emotional benefit of play. They are likely to support and promote learning through play. These parents fully understand and will prioritize play for child development. And because of that, they will provide access to diverse toys, environments, and social interactions that stimulate the different aspects of development. Like as we know, nowadays, many parents, especially those who work, often feel overwhelmed and find it challenging to make time to play with their children. For parents who understand how important play is, they may decide to take their children to places like playgrounds, daycares, or preschools, where play is encouraged and was supervised by the professional. So these environments offer opportunities for children to interact, learn, and develop various skills through play. But on the other hand, parents who are unaware about the benefit of active play or underestimate the value of play might not prioritize the play and may limit the change of the children in exploratory and in explore many things and learning experience. For example, if parents forbid the children from climbing trees or jumping on bed or other physical games that they forbid them from doing that, the children's dynamic balance will be less explored. As in fact, parents have to just let the children explore and play under their supervision because the nature of children is playing. And let them experiencing everything while keeping them safe and keep watching them. Another problem is when parents do not aware of the benefit of play, when they feel overwhelmed with the children who will always ask them to play anytime, every day, they tend to use screen time, such as watching TV or using electronic devices to keep them occupied and quiet. In my opinion, this is not right at all. So next, I believe all parents want the best for their children. However, not every parents have the advantage or privilege of a good education and broad knowledge about the childhood development. So, how to raise the awareness between them? The first one is parenting seminar or workshop. Teaching parents the power of play by providing a series of workshops in which it will empower parents to provide meaningful play experiences for their children at home. This is very important, especially for those new parents who are still learning and need more knowledge about parenting, how to deal with their children, how to provide the children with the best play-based learning experience, and how to stimulate their children's sensory and motory from an early age, and many others. So the first important thing to do is provide the parents with a parenting workshop. So next, utilize social media, blogs, newsletters, website, to share articles, infographic, and videos that highlight the importance of play and provide guidance for parents. This is because there is the need for widespread education campaigns in which targeting the parents to enhance their understanding of the importance of play. In this case, even if the parents cannot find or cannot join the parenting class, they still can find the information through online resources. So last but not least, community engagement. This is we can organize community events such as play days, storytelling session, or family picnics that emphasize the joy and benefit of play for children and families. In this event, we can also encourage parents, especially those who are still learning, to actively participate in play with their children, demonstrating its value and creating positive memories with their children. So, in conclusion, it is crucial to help parents understand how important play is for their children, as parents and families play a critical role as educators responsible for their children's health, physical growth, education, intellectual development, and moral values. By focusing on effective play strategies from an early age, parents can ensure their children grow up well-rounded, curious, and ready to face the life's challenges. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Ms. Zakia, that was really nice. You gave us a lot of tips and understanding of how we can engage parents and make them understand what are the importance of play. Yeah, there are so many tools and social media sites which are available. But the best of all, personally, what I liked was the community engagement. That was really fantastic. Why not get all the parents together and go for a picnic with their children and ask them to also play along with their children? I think that way they will get the importance of play. And when we were small, like when I was young, we used to do that with our parents. It's lost somewhere. Now nobody has the time. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. And now we go over to Dr. Abdul Karim, because we would really love to know what is the play policy in Indonesia and what does the policy say. So because rarely do other countries have a play policy as such. So over to you, Dr. Abdul Karim.
Okay, thank you very much, Miss Simriti, right?
Yes.
Simriti.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good evening, everybody. Maybe I'm a boy, a man myself here in this evening. Okay. I say thank you very much to.
Women-oriented webinar. Dr. Abdul Karim, you are one of the rare people to be present in an overall women-dominated arena of early childhood. So you're most welcome. It's a pleasure to have you. Yeah,
thank you.
Please. Thank you.
I want to say thank you very much to Dr. Fasafi and all speakers, also audiences in this best moment webinar Zoom, I think. This is an initiative of ECDF International. So I glad to thank to Dr. Fasafi. I agree with Miss Drishti and also Miss Sabista Bahtiar, that all humans have to be happy and also play every day from 0 to 90 maybe. Yeah? According to me, maybe 0 to 63 maybe. Yeah? This is aligned with one verse in Quran, Al-Ankabut 64 argue that and the life of this world is just jokes and games. And indeed, the land of the afterlife is the real life if they only knew. Yeah, that is one verse in Quran, in our belief for Muslim that all day is jokes and games. Yeah. So this for important, this essential. I want to share about the government rules and the government policies and its implementation regarding play-based learning of for children in Indonesia. So I want to share about 4 slides in this evening to you all about government policies and also rules for play-based learning for children. Okay, next, Dr. Fashafi. The first slide is about the overview of government policies on education and play-based learning in Indonesia. There are 3 points important to share to you all of. The first is current government policies on education and learning approaches. It means that currently the government of Indonesia has implemented policies that emphasize play-based learning approaches for children in order to enhance their educational experiences. The second is incorporation of play-based learning in national education frameworks. It means that the incorporation of play-based learning in national education frameworks in Indonesia reflects the government's commitment to providing a holistic and child-centered approach to education for children. And the third about the overview is regulatory support for play-based learning initiatives. It means that the government in Indonesia provides regulatory support, for play-based learning initiative to enhance the education system and promote child development. Okay, next. And then the second slide is about the challenges in implementing play-based learning in Indonesia educational setting. There are 3 point important, I think. The first is limited resources and infrastructure for play-based learning. And the second is teacher training and capacity building for play-based education. And the third is cultural and societal perspective on play in education. The third point, I think, important, and I will explain about this meaning. It's mean that cultural and societal perspective on play in education can pose challenges in implementing play-based learning in Indonesia educational setting, I think. As traditional views, my prioritize academic achievement over the holistic development of children. This is the third point I will that I can explain to you all. And next, Dr. Fasafi, for the third slide is about government initiative and programs for promoting play-based learning in Indonesia. Also, there are 3 points. The first is overview of government-sponsored initiative for play-based learning. It means that the government initiative and program for promoting play-based learning in Indonesia, provides a comprehensive overview of various government-sponsored initiative aimed at fostering play-based learning among children in Indonesia. This is, I think, the important roles of Indonesia government for play-based learning in education system. And the second is partnership with educational institution and NGOs for play-based programs, that the government in Indonesia has established partnership, with educational institution and NGOs. I think like ECDF is also NGOs to create play-based programs aimed at promoting play-based learning for children. And the third point is investment in play-friendly learning environment and resources. It means that the government initiatives and programs for promoting play-based learning in Indonesia involve investment in play-friendly learning environment and resources to enhance children's educational experience. These are the three of government initiative. Okay, next, Dr. Fasafi. So what is the fourth slide from me? Is strategies for collaborative effort between government, school, and communities to support play-based learning. I agree with Ms. Zakia, just told us now that communities play a role also in play-based learning for children. So this slide contains are 3 points important. The first is engagement of community stakeholders in promoting play-based education. It means that the involvement of community stakeholders is essential in promoting play-based learning as part of the collaborative efforts between government, schools, and community. Not only government and school, but also community. For what? To support play-based learning for children, I think, especially in Indonesia. The second point is collaborative planning and resource sharing between schools and government. It's meant that collaborative planning and resource sharing between schools and government aim, to enhance the implementation of play-based learning for children in Indonesia under the strategies for collaborative efforts between government, schools, and communities. So the community as a third institutional non-formal, it also plays important role for the student play-based learning, especially in the school, And the third point is advocacy for inclusive and equitable access to play-based learning opportunities. Advocacy for, it means that advocacy for inclusive and equitable access to play-based learning opportunities, is essential in ensuring that the children in Indonesia, especially, have the necessary support from government, also schools and communities. For what? To drive in their development. This is the fourth slide that I can share about the Indonesia government to support and play-based learning children, even in school, and also in daily life. I think that's all I can share to you all about government policy and its implementation regarding play-based learning for children, especially Indonesian case. Thank you. Thank you for moderator and also all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor. That was really, really amazing. It's so good to know that Indonesia government is taking these initiatives for introducing play-based learning for children because it's very essential. And in India also, since the time in 2020, we had the National Education Policy revised. they are laying a lot of emphasis on play-based learning. Then the curriculum framework that came into being in India as the national curriculum framework for the foundational stage in 2022 has listed a lot of strategies which schools and states can use to introduce play-based and hands-on learning for the children in the early years setting. I think that's one of the most important initiatives that the government can take. And we also face the same issues that you are facing in your country: the limited resources
Yes.
and infrastructure, teacher training and capacity building, and the perspective of the community is something like the community and the societal perspective towards play actually needs to have a 360-degree turn, because most of the parents feel that they're sending the children to school to study and not to play. So in case they are playing, they have an objection to that. So it depends on as a larger perspective. When we take into accountability, it has to be all the stakeholders involved in it together with the same perspective that play is necessary. It is essential for this age group, and we should not keep children away from play. Thank you so much for sharing your
Yes.
thoughts on the policy.
Okay.
Right. Now we go over to Ms. Kiki, and she would like to share some strategies that can introduce a play-based curriculum. So we're talking here about the policies. We're talking about that play is essential, but how can we have a curriculum which is based on play-based learning? How does a school actually implement a curriculum which has play-based learning? Over to you, Ms. Kiki.
Thank you, Ms. Smriti, for the opportunity for me to share how the school implement the curriculum of play-based learning. Let me share my screen, and good evening all. I already introduced myself. I'm Ms. Kiki. Wait, this is my screen. Okay, implementing play-based learning and early childhood education setting. And first of all, I want to share a quote from Froebel that play is the highest expression of human development in childhood, for it alone is the very expression of what is in the child's soul. Froebel. And as you see here, these are the picture of our students playing in the class. The implementation of play-based learning. First, we have to define play-based learning. Clarify what play-based learning entails, emphasizing that it's not just a free play, but structured and guided activities that support learning objectives. Guided here means we provide learning environment and still consider the child's development aspect. And also, we have free play times at school. We call it independent learning time, while the children can choose really what they want to play in the class. We have also dramatic area at school, and there they can pretend play really also with their friends. Sorry. And we develop a comprehensive curriculum. We integrate the curriculum with the play-based activity with existing learning standards and objectives. Ensure alignment with educational goal of our school, of course. And we also implementing clear conceptual playwork. Maybe one of you have known clear conceptual playwork. It's a new concept of play. Conceptual playwork in our school held in a month. Playwork start with a story. Then both adults and children enter an imaginary world. Playing together, they solve challenges and learn concepts in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and also STEM. And this is structured play, but not really structured. We only concept depth STEM things, and the children can play also really with their imagination. And the implementation here also need professional development, provide ongoing professional development for teachers to learn about play-based pedagogy, classroom management in play-based environment, and assessment of course technique. Like I said before to you when we introduced ourselves at a WhatsApp group, I'm also the awardee of Play and Pedagogy scholarship from Monash University. That's one of professional development that I, as the principal, also take to develop my skill. And I also share the things to the teachers, of course. And we have basic training for in that start in the beginning of the academic year, and and monthly training that held one in a month in every Saturday, one Saturday in a month to give the teacher professional development also. And design learning environment, interactive spaces, set up classrooms with various interactive learning stations. We have Dr. Fasafi has come to my school, and she already seen also we have sensorial spaces that children can play, build sensory activities there, including imaginative play in dramatic area, construction, art, science exploration, and quiet reading. And outdoor learning utilize outdoor spaces for physical and nature-based play. Our school also, the school that implement 3R, reduce, reuse, recycle, things that all things that we use for children as 3R product. And promoting gross motor skill, environmental awareness also. And also, we engage and involve parents, parent education, hold informational session and workshop to help parents understand the value of play-based learning and how it supports their child's development. Like the speaker before said that we also, like you said, yeah, Miss Mariti, that we also invite parents to our school to play together. Here is the one of the event that parents come to our school and play with children. This is a traditional game from Cirebon City. And also we assess and reflect every month, every end of the month with the teachers and how it does the play-based learning works to the children, how the children develop every end of the month we assess and reflect them. And also we held play-based event. Host event, we have event called Children Expo. As you see here, parents come to the classroom and children present their works to the parents. So this is one of child shown their works to the parents and tell their activity, not only their works, but their activity at classroom. They show their toys, they play with parents there, and it's parent and children time. And we also had a play event in theme like traditional play day. We also invite not only our children at school, but it's open to public, and they come to our school and play together in our school. And we have also this corner in our classes. At like I said, independent learning time, they can play freely there. I think enough from me. That's all. Thank you, Ms. Mariti, for the chat.
Oh, you're most welcome. Thank you so much, Ms. Kiki, for sharing so many ideas of how to implement play-based learning in schools. And of course, parent engagement is always very important. So if the parents are also involved in the events and the play-based events in school, they would understand it much better. So, and it's lovely to know that you have all these interactive learning stations in your school. So the children can come and actually have a choice and can play as they want to and interact as they want to with materials. And sensorial games are very, very important during this age group. So thank you so much for sharing so many ideas with us. I think all those who are watching us live are going to benefit from this webinar, because it's not only talking, but we are getting so many takeaways from it. Thank you so much, Ms. Kiki. So I
Thank you.
go over to Ms. Shabishta Bakhtiar, because we would really like to know that, okay, fine, we are implementing the play-based pedagogy and the government is taking those initiatives. But what are the skills that children would be developing when they play? And can they actually help in developing 21st century skills, which everyone is now talking about? It's essential that children have the 21st century skills to cope up with the ever-changing world. Over to you, Ms. Shabishta.
Thank you, Smriti. Thank you so much. Very valuable insights. I've gotten myself a refresher for sure from all of our friends from Indonesia. See, we have all talked about skills development. Obviously, it's cognitive development, physical development, socio-economic development, and language skills. Everything gets developed via play, because when children are interacting, as we have seen the pictures, it's obvious. These pictures are the best example. We can see that children interact with each other. They are using different kind of materials. They are moving around. They have space to express themselves, a safe space, most importantly, where they can interact, express themselves, think, learn problem solving. For me, the most important skill that is developed via play is communication and problem solving skills, or you can say critical thinking as well. Because when they are indulged in play, it's all about creating a scenario, handling different objects, interacting with them, interacting with each other, talking to each other, asking questions, answering questions, and then that interaction basically builds up their holistic development, I would say. As far as physical development concerned, obviously fine motor skills and gross motor skills, as I mentioned earlier, these children are the product of digital era. They are too much involved with the iPads and screens and mobiles, and it's very rare now. Even I see in my family and friends, children are rarely interacting with each other. They're always, even if they're interacting, it's via games or online games or social media, despite of the age. And I think it's okay, it's the need of the era. But again, you have to keep a balance, you have to maintain a balance, and schools can be the best place to do that. uh, you can see when we were younger, we used to play outside on streets and climb trees and had a lot of opportunities to play house, or play with each other, different games we had. These children don't even know about those games. The other day, I was talking to children of my friends, and we were telling them that we used to play these certain games, and they were like, "Acha, usme kya, like what happens in that? What happens in that?" So we were explaining them that we used to play these kind of things, and they were like, they were not only improving our physical skills, they were improving our mental skills, our reflexes as well. Because when you are playing a game, like, I don't know if it's obviously maybe name something else in other countries, but a play like hide and seek, or running around, or catch, or even there was a game we used to keep stones. We used to build a stone tower and hit it with a tennis ball. So the reflexes, the knowledge of distance and throw, everything was being developed without even us knowing, and like having fun. So these all developments are so essential for children's, and the thing is that now they rarely get those chances. So when you develop an area, or when you create certain stations in your classroom, these children get that. And not only physical and mental development, they also get hands-on learning on language skills, on mathematical skills, science, technology, biology, geography. Everything can be taught via play. There is no limit. You can teach a child everything. As far as 21st century skills, obviously I am very pro technology. I'm not a person who says, yeah, but don't give your child a mobile or iPad. It is important for them. The whole world is in these gadgets right now. We are also talking via technology. You are sitting in India, I'm in Pakistan. We can't even meet like that. But it's thankfully for the technology that we are interacting on a very, very healthy platform. So yes, it is important. But again, see, if I don't know how to communicate, I wouldn't be sitting here. If I don't know to how to listen to other people and relate my answers to that, I would not be able to do this. So again, play comes in plays its part over here. Because when I have that exposure of interacting with my peers, with my class fellows, with my friends, with my parents, or people around me living in my society or community, I learn these things. I know how to listen, how to communicate, how to tell you something, how to explain anything. And again, it develops my problem solving skills. Even if you are working in IT sector, you need these skills. You need the critical thinking, you need the problem solving skills, and it gets developed only when you are exposed to such exercises and such opportunities in a very early age. And when a child is, I remember my experience, there were children who were not very interested in studies, you can say. But whenever they were diverted towards any kind of station where they could play or interact with different kind of material, it was a different ball game altogether. Because we are learning people, we all know that every child doesn't learn in the same way. Some are visual, some are auditory, some are kinesthetic. And play is the only thing which caters to all these things, all intelligences, all types of learners. So for 21st century, 22nd century, I think play cannot be eliminated in any era. It has to be there, and I'm so amazed and so happy to learn that Indonesia has a specific policy for it. And I think every country should adopt these things, and we should learn through each other and such platforms. When we get that, I have this knowledge, I work with government sector, and I can propose these things to them as well. So it is very important for every child to get this opportunity, to get this exposure, even if they have to interact via, if they're working, when they're grown up, they're working hybrid or work from home, or if they're going to their workplaces or whatever they are doing. If they do not know how to communicate, they won't be able to survive. If they do not know how to have problem solving skills, they won't be able to survive in any profession. So this is the importance, and this is the importance, and this is the you can say the connection to the 21st century skills and play. I hope I am clear and I have answered my question.
Absolutely. So
Thank
yes,
you.
when we talk about technology, when we talk about the gadgets, when we talk about social media, Ms. Rabishta has very, very pertinently told us that it is so important. If we did not know how to communicate, how to listen, how to solve problems, we would not be sitting here and interacting on a Zoom call also. So technology is something that also requires all the essential skills that play is teaching you. So whether it is the 21st century skills of communication, collaboration, critical thinking, or the information media and technology, everything will be based on the basic skills that we learn through play. So thank you
One
so
more
much.
thing, Smriti,
Yes.
one more thing.
Absolutely.
We see when in this the digital era, we see a lot of a lack of empathy and sympathy.
True.
And through play, I think not only to children, to adults also, we can teach that. We are so brutal. We are so brutal on social media. We are so brutal to each other that we have lost the essence of interaction. So when
True.
we learn these things, I think the whole world will be a better place, and we will empathize with each other. We will respect each other's model of the world as well. You will live a different life. I live a completely different life, and we need to respect that. If we have to live in a global village, we need to respect each other.
True. There has to be an understanding of cultural diversity, of economical, social diversity, and you have to respect that. Empathy is the key word. Empathy does begin with play. Negotiations begin with play. When the child is saying it's my turn or it's your turn, and we negotiate with that, who plays with the toy first, who takes the bat first, who will be bowling first, everything are the skills that the children would be requiring. And then, like she said, that in case of social media, there would be less trollers and more followers. So we would like more appreciations and, a little more empathy towards each other as a human being and as a humankind. Thank you so much, Shavishta, for sharing your thoughts. Let's go over to Miss Adoin, the Princess Adoin. And her question is that play is so much. We have been listening to this since past 1 hour almost, that play is developing skills and it is like essential, it is necessary, and why we should have it. Now, a different perspective, because you have play-based and art-based instructions in your early childhood settings. Do you think play is therapeutic? Can it can it solve problems? You were talking about inclusivity and especially or differently abled children when we spoke to you in the beginning of the session. So how and why do you think the play can be therapeutic? Over to you.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, I would like to appreciate everyone on this platform, especially Dr. Verzafi. I hope I got your name correctly. Thank you so much for the invite. It's a very good opportunity for me to share my knowledge. And so far, I've learned a lot, and I'm glad that I was a part of this. I'm a part of this because I've learned a lot, and I'm seeing other things I could implement in my teaching system. Well, absolutely, I would say that play is very therapeutic for all kids. It's very, very important, and it has its therapy effects. First and foremost, let's start with toddlers, the kids. Toddlers, when they are born, they don't have a verbal language that we understand. I might start with that. Maybe they have their own verbal language that they understand within themselves, but for us as adults, we don't understand. So one of the ways they express their thoughts and feelings is often through play, through emotional expressions, through gestures, and most of the time through expressions. So these are, naturally, every child is born an artist to play, an artist that plays, so some way or that. I'm saying this because I have a son. He's 3 years now, and over the years I've been trying to watch him, how he's been able to evolve and develop using play as his own form of learning and speaking and expression. So for me, I believe that play is very, very important. First and foremost, if we want to talk about inclusion in our society, in our world today, and not just integration, because there is a difference between social integration and social inclusion. In our world today, most times people talk about social inclusion, but what we have is just integration. You bring a child with special needs and you integrate them into the normal school system, but the teachers don't know how to cope with this kid. The teacher doesn't know how to walk this kid through the process too. So the kid is left out, and so in that wise, it is not social inclusion, it is just integration. But now moving from the level of social inclusion to integration, at English Development Center, I thought about, because we have all manners of kids. I mean, we have the blind, we have kids with special needs, we have the normal kids without any issues, and maintaining a balance and ensuring that everyone is learning at the same pace and no one is left behind. So we inculcated this idea of play, activism as a medium of instruction, art. We all love art. We all love a form of play, even adults. We listen to music. Some of us, we have decorations around our home. We have artworks at home. We watch films, all forms of art. And you know what? I will tell you that I'm not exaggerating. We have 100% results from all these kids. I mean, kids with that are the people assume that they are, you know, the parents come and they just dump them with us and they abandon them and they feel this one is not intelligent, it's too demanding because they have a special need. These kids are amazing. They are amazing and they are intelligent. The only thing is that we are yet to discover their own style of learning. And afterwards, when we started at English Development Center, we introduced games. When I mean games, I'm not just talking about playing with joysticks and stuff like that. No, I mean physical games, historical games, cultural games, because one of our objectives at English Development Center is for cultural advancement, you know, to promote cultural advancement and stuff like that. So we discovered that these kids are creative, you know. You find kids doing amazing things, amusing things, because they are exposed to learning. They don't actually know that they are learning. I mean, we teach mathematics, we teach science, we teach art, we teach all subjects using art and play as instrument, as a medium of instruction. And it is really working. You know, one of the speakers said something that there must be balance, because if care is not taken, we play, and then we forget the objective. But there is always a balance when we use play as medium of instruction for learning. For teachers too, I mean, all my teachers, they love it. It makes teaching easy for them. You know, they don't have to stress, they don't have to use the rigorous curriculum to teach. Kids can see. For the ones that cannot see, they can associate with sounds. For the ones that cannot associate with sound, they can associate with colors and all those stuff. So all these things are therapeutic in nature. They make kids gravitate towards learning, and their psychological well-being is being developed, and of course their physical well-being too. It affects every aspect of the kids. One other thing I want to say is that have you ever watched a child when they are playing, especially when they are playing alone? The sight is very, very fascinating. They are in their own world, enjoying themselves, doing their own thing. You know, yesterday I was taking my son to the bathroom to take his bath, and normally we do everything with play. Otherwise, he wouldn't want to take his bath. So I'm always like, let's make some bubbles, you know. Mommy, I want to make some bubbles. And he's always rushing to the bathroom because of that. He always wants to take his bath because of bubble making and stuff like that. We must always look for something that would gravitate our kids or the children or our students towards learning. Enough of all this stressful, I'm telling you, because I had problem myself when I was growing up learning, because I love education, but the style of teaching, the rigorous style of teaching and the boring environment made education totally out of it for me. I wouldn't believe that I would be somebody that would be into education today when I was in junior school or high school, because it was just boring. But now, you know, at my school, for example, kids are always rushing to come to the school. And when the parents come to pick them, they will tell them, please give me 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes, 15 more minutes, because it's fun for them. So what am I saying in essence? Apart from the fact that it's fun and it's engaging for the teachers and the students, it is therapeutic 100%, and it develops them physically, psychologically, emotionally, and it connects them together too. This social aspect of it connects them together. It's not that they're in the world on social media and they're in their own world and they're not connecting. It breeds connectivity between these kids. Thank you very much. That's it from me.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing these thoughts. And with the passion that you share these thoughts, it's something like really appreciable. That, you know, when you're talking, it's not like as if you're just talking for a webinar. It is talking from the heart. So, yeah, it is like really good. Of course, play and art as instruments and tools and as medium of instructions can bring so much joy to learning. That can make learning so much enjoyable. The child love to learn. Not like that they hate coming to school or they don't want to go to school like we used to do in our era. Like she shared with us that it was her experience. It was, I think, every child's experience at that time. Rote learning and rigorous ways of boring education. But today, when we can, let's change that. Let's bring play, let's bring art, let's bring different kind of differentiated learning, because no child is the same. They all learn differently and they are all unique in themselves. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. And that brings us to the last but not the least, a very important question for Ms. Drishti, and that is that how can parents' positive mindset towards play be developed? I know we had talked about a lot of things, how to engage parents and, tell them the importance of play, but how a positive mindset for them can be developed and how can they be involved in the play with their children while maintaining mindfulness. Now, mindfulness is another very important term when we are playing. Like right now, Miss Princess Adovin said that if you see a child playing all by himself or herself, they are in a world of their own. Their entire mind and their own thought process, their body, their senses is involved there. So, are we mindful? And how to get the parents to be mindful during play? Over to you, Ms. Rishti.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. I'll introduce myself again. I'm Drishti Chugh from Mohali, Punjab. I'm a parenting coach and a child counselor. And I am a founder of Mindful Sips Cafe, Cafe Beyond Coffee. And this is my new venture. We'll be talking about it towards the end. So on this webinar of play, the most important thing I would like to cover, which all of you have already covered, is importance of play. I would like to start from here. Because children learn the best when they are playing, and it creates a powerful learning opportunities in their holistic development. Either it's cognitive, emotional, physical, social, it helps all the aspects. Through play, children learn to forge connection with others, build a wide range of leadership skills, develop resilience, navigate relationships and social challenges. When children play, they start to make sense of the world. When they're indulged into pretend play, they understand how shopkeepers work. When they play, they understand how doctors and all those who are superheroes, the fire trucks work. All the how the people at work they work, and more generally, play provides a platform for children to express and develop imagination and creativity, which are the skills critical for the technology-driven and innovative world we live in. As Trabishta already covered this point, like to even use the technology, we have to play and learn the basic things. And it is so essential to even understand how to talk, what to talk. And playful interactions contribute to the well-being and positive mental health of parents, caregivers, and children. So we come to, I have divided my question into two different parts. So we'll be talking about how can parents' positive mindset towards play be developed. So the first point is education and awareness. It is very, very important to inform parents about the benefits of play for children's holistic development. We should provide them resources, workshops, articles, and even videos that emphasize how play contributes to learning and growth. So having workshops regarding mindful parenting, or the workshops regarding to open play, free play, structured and unstructured play, it is really important to educate the parents first, to make them understand why play is important and how it will help them in the studies as well. Because these days parents are just focusing on how their children is learning, and they are always complaining that our child is just always playing. But when we educate them, it will help them to understand the importance of it. The other point is modeling and involvement. Encouraging parents to actively participate in play with their children, like being there without distractions and playing with them. Play strengthens parent and child bond. So not just playing give them the excitement, but also it enhances the relationship between a parent and their child. As they're interacting together, they're talking with each other, spending undivided attention with each other. Parent is home from their work, and children do miss those moments with their parents in these busy lives, that their parents don't have time for their children, and play is a great source to make a bond with the child. And role modeling how play can be full of fun and excitement. The third point is community support. Support can lead anywhere to any good. They can help them reach heights in their life. So creating a supportive community of parents who value play, We can organize play groups, play dates where parents and children are getting together, maybe in the parks, having picnics together and spending some time with each other, and where parents can also interact with each other, of the different developmental stages of the milestones, and they can even, step out of the house and have the environment change as well. Community events where parents can share their experiences. It is also very important to understand how parents are feeling about it, because maybe parents are going through a roller coaster emotional ride in them, and they don't have a place to talk about it. So a community support is really important, where we all can lead a helping hand to them. And addressing concerns. So when it comes to unstructured play, the main concern can be safety. Explaining the parents how a safe playing environment can be set, how no sharp corners of the furniture should be there, all the rounded corners, how very safe, approachable toys can be organized for children, and time and educational value as well. It is important. So if, for example, a parent has to ask the child to leave the play corner, educating parents, like giving children 20 minutes head time, and then 10 minutes, and then 5 minutes. If we just pull the children out from their play area, so they start crying, and they become very sad, because they were really having a great time playing with their peers. So educating parents how to address this situation and how to approach when the children are playing. Last point is provide resources. Offer suggestion for toys and games. It is very, very important to educate parents what kind of toys and resources should be given to the children when they are playing, which will help them in their problem solving, cognitive, social, emotional development as well, where they are learning, sharing, and they are learning about, taking turns. These are very important things. So these days, like the battery operated toys are not very, motivated to use by children, because the bright lights and the sound, they, they make the disconnection between the parent and the child, because the battery operated toys have such bright light and loud noise that the reflexes of the children, they don't work, and, they are not listening to their parents. And it is very important to educate parents about how they can create a friendly environment at home for the children to play. The other part of my question is, how can parents be involved in play with children while being mindful? This is a very, very important thing to be discussed in, when parents are so busy working. Some parents are working from home and they're always on their iPads, tablets, or phones, working and not spending a lot of time with the children. So it is very important to create a playful environment. Set up a dedicated space free from distractions like phone, TV, and other electronics. Cluster-free and inviting play areas helps both parents and children to focus on the activity and learn. So when a parent is not, when parent is giving an undivided attention, it will help them to, spend quality time with each other and no distractions. And this will help a child feel that, a parent is really interested to playing with them, and this will give them time to spend with each other, and this will make a child really, really happy. Be fully present. Sometimes a parent is just sitting with the child and just thinking something in their head. A child is talking and parent doesn't even know what the child is saying, because the parent is so mentally stressed that they don't even have the capacity to hear what the child is saying. And when a parent doesn't listen to the child is showing some frustration, and this frustration can be through yelling, screaming, and then we label those behaviors as tantrums and stubbornness. The third point is observe and respond. Encouraging parents to understand child's cues instead of directing them in the play. It is very, very important that the play should be child-led and not giving them directions when they are playing. Because when we give directions, there will be very minimal cognitive development, and they will not be able to think outside the box. Instead, they should respond to child's actions and ideas, fostering collaborative and responsive play. The other point is engage in sensory activities. Activities that encourages sensory play such as with Play-Doh, water, sand, and messy play, where they're just having so much fun and giggles are coming out. And this is the moment where parent and the child will both be in the moment and enjoying with each other, and they'll stay grounded. And that is how they can be mindful of what they are playing with each other. And limit multitasking. It is very important that parents don't offer a lot of toys at one point of time, because this fosters overstimulation and the child is not able to focus on one even thing. And then parents complain about that my child doesn't concentrate more than 10 minutes, because we have already, taught them to be how to be overstimulated. So it is very important that we offer one toy at a time, and you can rotate your toys every week or however it works for you. And even when you are playing with your child, just don't multitask. Even you have to role model that, if we are playing, that we don't have to do household chores or our work from office. Like, just be where you are, be mindful of the place, and just engage with a beautiful playtime with your little one. Celebrating small moments. The best thing, my son is 1 year old, and the best thing I have learned from is, just celebrating little achievements of yourself, applauding for yourself, and, just, enjoying and smiling for the moment. It is very important that parents even give little praises to the children, like, well done, you did a great job making a tower. Just like labeling and praising a little efforts which a little one is making. Last point is narrate and reflect. Explain to the parents the importance of narrating what they are doing during the playtime, and because this helps in language development. As much as words a parent is using, like, wow, what beautiful drawing you are making. Oh, wow, you have used a red color. So when we are labeling things, it makes things more clear for the child. They are learning new words, they are learning new colors in it. So it is very important that we are narrating whatever we are doing and asking open-ended questions, because it will give them an opportunity to talk more, use words more, and this will help in the language development. So this is it for my question. Also, I would like to take 5 more minutes and to talk about my new, venture, Mindful Sips, a cafe beyond coffee. So this is a place me and my husband, we have opened up in Mohali, Punjab, India. And this is not just a normal cafe, it is a mental health cafe where me being a child counselor and a parenting coach, I am on the floor addressing needs. I also have a mental health check-in, which you can see. This is a wall in the entrance of my cafe where people can, put in however they are feeling in that little hut. And in the other picture, you can see there is a wall of calming. There is a calming zone where all the grounding techniques and all the breathing exercises and everything is on the wall to help parents. And the main intent, the cafes is intended as a space for children, mothers, and new parents, envisioned as a sanctuary of warmth and connection. A place where people can come from the busy lives and chit chat with Drishti over a cup of coffee. The essence of a concept lies in creating a comfy place where every corner exudes warmth and familiarity. So I always wanted to create a very casual place for people to come in and talk about themselves, and for parents and mothers to, skip out of their busy life and doing the same chores in a loop and taking a break for themselves and to have a peaceful cup of coffee at Mindful Sips. So this is our vision and mission of the place. To create a warm and inviting cafe space that will give people a calm space to relax and unwind from their busy lives, and foster personal growth, emotional well-being, and meaningful connections through counseling and community. And the most important thing is that at a very casual setting, we have, where people can unwind from their busy lives, and, they can just have a talk with me or have meaningful connections and conversations with their family members and their partners and children. And also, as we are talking about play, my cafe here have all kind of board games, even for adults, so that they can go back to their childhood and, live in the moment, put their phones aside and play some board games with their families, have a great time. Also, we offer stressful coloring books for adults as well, so that this can help them to relax and have a great cup of coffee, and with beautiful desserts we have. Thank you so much. If you ever visit to Mohali, please come to our cafe, and it will give you a moment of relaxation from your life. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Ms. Rishti. It was indeed a pleasure listening to you. And the best part is knowing about the mindful sips. The name itself is very engaging. And I wish I was in Mohali, that I could have visited tomorrow itself. So everybody needs that, a safe haven where you can, unwind, relax, and rejuvenate with your near and dear ones. Because most of the time we're rushing through our daily chores and our work and our daily routine, and the children are busy too, and the parents are busy too. But in fact, everybody in the family are very busy. So it's better to have mindful sips in a community where we can all go and relax. And the best icing on the cake is we can have conversations with Ms. Rishti there, because she's right there on the floor helping out the parents and the children. So nice to hear that. So thank you so much for being a part of this webinar, and it was indeed a pleasure knowing you and about your venture. All the very best for it. I hope more and more people take advantage of this. Now we go over to Dr. Vasavi Acharya, because she is wanting to say something about play and the webinar that we had today. Though we did exceed our time and nobody cared or complained, because it was so engrossing and so engaging, and we were all so much into play that we really did not mind it going till 8 p.m. All right, over to you, Dr. Vasavi Acharya.
Thank you, Smriti. First of all, wonderful moderating and, kind of connecting one speaker to the next, because everybody had lots to share, from Fariha, who shared about the different plays, types of plays, to, how parents can get involved, the Indonesian play policy, Shabishta talking about how 21st century skills are developed through play, Rizki talking about her school and the play, the way children are engaged in play. And I have been to a school and I saw their in Chirubon, how well they are, using the three recycle, the 3 R's, the recycle, reuse, and the reduce, and wonderful work children are doing. And then Zakia talking about, another aspect where how parents can understand the value, and then coming to Drishti, who talked about the way we need to actually we need to integrate the entire thing into our minds, because when we talk about education, we always feel it's the rote learning, but then again, it's coming to more of our understanding how actually a playful environment, an environment which is more inclusive, an environment that allows us to think, which is more democratic, where we can tell what we want to say, where there is somebody to listen to us, somewhere where we are heard, where we are respected. That is what actually enables learning. And I would say 70% of the learning happens outside the classroom. That is not being restricted to the tables and the chairs we are assigned, for our studies. So this has been a wonderful webinar. I never expected it to come out so well. And it's been 2 hours, and it was not at all one bit tiring for me to, listen to every speaker, because there were a lot of takeaways, and we are going to implement all of this. And because there are 3 nations involved today, I feel that every nation has something to take from each other. And then we would have a lot of others who would be watching us now or later, or are in our YouTube channel, who will have a lot of takeaways and do the necessary in terms of how we can get play into our child's lives and make it better. Thank you once again, every speaker who has joined us and has been so wonderful, so insightful. And thank you, Smriti, for getting all this together so wonderfully. And over to you, and you can wind it up. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vasavi, for those words, because I totally second you on the fact that all the speakers were wonderful. and the way they came out. I think all the listeners and all the people who would be watching this now or later would agree on one thing, that maybe perhaps you would be thinking, how much can we talk about play? Okay. Yeah, we all know play is good for children, and it is the work of childhood, and it gives us a holistic development. So you would not imagine how much we spoke about play today in different aspects. So the championing of play and play-based learning and their different aspects, as our title said, as coined by Dr. Vasavi, and as ECDF bringing all of us together from 3 different countries and different continents, no, same continent, but different countries, is great, because now we all know how much of it is involved, how much of it that we have to be mindful about, how much strategies are needed, how much partnerships are needed, that we can actually make play-based learning a reality. So thanks to all the speakers, and thanks to ECDF and Dr. Vasvi Acharya for doing this. And it was a wonderful evening spent. And like I said, I don't regret it at all. From 1 hour, 10 minutes session, it went to 2 hours, but who's complaining? Thank you very much. Good night, and see you later.